What's hiding underneath things can be scary. Underwater, under your bed, especially what's under your carpet. Except when you get new carpet from Carpet One Floor & Home. After tearing up your old carpet, they'll vacuum and apply Health Annex antimicrobial to your subfloor, disinfecting and killing mold, mildew, and any remaining general awfulness. Carpet One Floor & Home goes the extra mile to protect you, your family, and your home. Carpet One Floor & Home in Columbia, making your home beautiful, guaranteed.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, August the 17th. Always a pleasure to have you with us today. And I've got a friend of mine back in the studio with us, completely social distance from one another, 7.5 feet away, but it's good to see you in person.
It's great to see you, Paul, and to come back,
Right. ALEX LaBRUNERie. We've been doing interviews with you on the phone. And it's a big step coming back into the studio, but we are taking every precaution we can. People wear masks coming in here. You sit down, and you're 7.5 feet away.
It's very well organized.
Yeah, but let's talk a little bit about money and how things are going.
Sure.
I know you were telling me about how well Amazon is doing,
yes.
But the economy is kind of in the dumps. But stocks are doing well. How can that be?
And that's been a paradox, a puzzle, question mark for a lot of us thinking about this. And it's not as if every stock is doing well, and that's not the case at all. There are certain still sectors like energy and airlines that are struggling, and other sectors of our economy as well. But the sectors that are doing very well as far as price appreciation are the big tech still. And we've talked about this in the past, but for instance, last month, Amazon posted earnings, and they were almost 8 times higher than Wall Street expectations, which might be some sort of record for exceeding expectations so greatly. I'm not sure if it is, but it certainly is
8 times higher than what they expected. Yeah. Now, they are part of the S&P 500, right?
Yes, a big part of it.
So that brings the S&P 500 way up.
That's right. Yes, and it brings the stocks not doing so well up, not the stocks up, but the index.
Right.
And so it helps investors who are in the indexes.
Right. So if investors who have money in the S&P 500, you're going to make money. Not that every stock made money, but several of them did. So it's like buoys everybody.
Yes, and that's why they're such popular and highly regarded investment instruments, the index funds.
Now let's talk a little bit about the deficit, if we can.
Sure.
When you talk about the deficit of our country, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
How many trillions of dollars?
Yeah, I think we're going to go to $4 trillion for 2020 approximately.
$4 trillion?
$4 trillion.
How many millions are in a trillion?
What, 1,000?
So
no,
we're talking...
That's a good...
We're talking
1,000 billions or so, 100 billion, so it's 1,000 billions. It's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Yes.
It's a lot of. Where does this money come from? The government's going to have to borrow this money. Where are they getting it?
The Federal Reserve will be buying some of it. Investors, we're self-funding. And global investors and American investors. We have our savings rates have gone up because we're not spending money, and so those that are lucky enough to be in a position to save aggressively have cash to buy bonds with.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Is this the money that they're borrowing? To me, it's just mind-boggling to think of that. Is this real money that is being borrowed, or is this
printed,
made-up money?
I wouldn't say it's made up, but it's a debt that has to be paid back. So it's very real to us as Americans. We'll be paying for it for at least 10 years, probably 20.
When we say we have to pay it back, how do we pay it back?
Through tax revenues, through receipts to Uncle Sam, and I think politically we'll have to be talking about tax increases in the future down the road. This is not the time, probably, and not that know what the time is, but to talk about tax increases when we really are stimulating our economy. It's important to remember this money's going to help, stabilize our economy until our people can get back to work.
And there some people who do not have a job, have no money coming in.
Yeah.
It is sinful not to help them out.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why we need to, run up the credit card.
Right. And don't say that lightly.
No.
But the government basically is running up its credit card.
Yes.
In order to help people, but at one point it has to be paid back.
Our people. Yes. Yes, it does, and it can be. I mean,
does it
20,
concern
30
you?
years?
Is it frightening to see such a massive?
I think it's stunning. Yeah, I think all of us, wherever we are in our lives, are just stunned by what we see happening, and then try to get to a sense of normalcy through this. But $4 trillion to get us to January of next year is stunning, and we'll have a lot of work to do as Americans to pay it off in the next 30 years.
Have we ever had a debt this high?
I'm not quite sure of that. The World War II debts were staggeringly high. There are different ways to calculate it.
Yeah.
But this is definitely up there.
Okay. So there are many different ways. There are many different ways to calculate the money and where it comes from and where it goes. But it is something that we need to think about, we need to talk about, but we need to help each other.
We need to get through this and help each other first, and I'm sure there'll be a talk about paying it back.
Right.
I'm sure that'll be very civil and intelligent.
Hopefully it'll be civil. The other thing we want to talk about saving, we're almost out of time here, Alex, but if it is important, even if you can put just a minuscule amount away to continue saving.
That's the ongoing, that's how particularly for the younger people, not who get back to saving if their incomes have been disrupted because of job loss or furloughs. Try to get back as soon as possible to saving.
And the other thing we'd say, money is tight. We can all try to help each other in many different ways. If we can help each other, we all come out on the better end of it.
Decency is what we need.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If people want more information, Alex, they can contact you where?
Yes, we're here in Columbia at 573-449-5313.
Or you can go to LaBrunerie.com.
Yes.
And I tell you, I like that bow tie.
Oh, well, thank you, Paul.
You look like it's Easter Sunday coming in here today. Pleasure seeing you, Alex.
Great to be here, Paul.
All right, stay healthy. Something you'd like to hear or see, I'd love to hear from you. Drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu. And don't forget, when you go out, put on that mask.